Hello and welcome to just adjusting my camera. Another Tell Me Anything random reading. This one is going to be called Event Horizon because I had so many dreams last night. It was crazy, like so many vivid, wacky, mental dreams. But what really stood out to me was seeing, and I feel like it was an image that I'd seen from NASA. I think NASA have like official images, and it was of the curvature of a planet. I don't know which planet, and the sun coming up behind the planet, so you've got that kind of beam of light, and then like the kind of flash, like a almost like a star of light, like as it rises. So it's kind of a quite an iconic image. I don't know if there's lots of images that are the same, but to me I feel like it's a NASA image. Now, when I saw this, I saw it so vividly. Also heard the word or words Event Horizon. Now, this is a film, a very gory film that I don't think I've seen, but it sounds gross when I looked it up. I don't think it's so much about the film as it is about the physics theory of Event Horizon. It's been going for quite a while. I think it was developed in like the 17th or 18th, no, sorry, the 18th or 19th century, so 1700s or 1800s. I think it's quite an old theory. I think it's been changed slightly and modified. I don't think it's a current theory, but it's something to do with black holes. I think like time travel, black holes, traveling faster than the speed of light, something like this. I am not a physicist. I'm not big brain enough to understand all the physics, but maybe somebody out there is really into physics. So that might be why it's coming through. Just to kind of warn you, there are a few boobs on a few of these cards, so if you are a little bit anti-nudes, then this might not be the reading for you. I also want to put out a quick trigger warning and disclaimer that I am going to talk about life and death. So if you have particularly strong religious views about what happens after we die, then this may not be the reading for you. I am not trying to sway opinion one way or another. I'm not trying to prove or disprove any theories. I am just reading the cards. I'm just reading the cards, okay? So think of it as a discussion point, a philosophy, a story, a different point of view. You don't have to take this and change your whole life or believe any of it. You don't have to shout angry comments at me. I'm not Charles Darwin. I watched Paul today. Talking about Event Horizon, it's weird how these things come through. I was looking for something to watch while I was waiting for my son to kind of wrap up his coursework, and I watched the film Paul, which is actually about an alien. It's a comedy movie, and right at the beginning of that movie, I think it's by Universal Pictures, and they have that beam of light right coming over the horizon. I was like, that's weird. I feel like I'm onto something here. Maybe we're talking about aliens. I don't know, but there's a scene in that where she has they get a girl who's very, very religious. She's been brought up with quite a closed mindset of, you know, this is how it is and that's it. And obviously this is a comedy film. Again, I'm not trying to sway anyone here. I don't know what to believe in. I just go with the flow. But she's she's quite anti Charles Darwin at first, and she kind of changes her mind on that. So I don't know, there could be something to do here with that kind of stuff, but I feel like I'm waffling. Again, please don't come at me. I'm just reading the cards, okay? Like I'm just telling you what the cards say. So discussion point, not trying to convert anyone to any particular mindset because I don't have one. I just whatever's up there in the sky is fine with me. Whether it's just planets, whether it's some omnipotent force, omnipresent force, some aliens. I don't know what's up there. Something's up there. I feel something's beaming stuff into my brain. Right, okay, so this reading then, I pulled up a picture of that Event Horizon thing. It's not an event horizon. Maybe there's an event on the horizon. Maybe you're going to be attending an event. It's, coming to light now. You can, you're looking forward to an event. Possibly, maybe all it is. But I looked at the image that I saw, or a similar image of the sun coming up over the horizon of the world. And then I started to pull cards. So what I've got is a conversation about feminine and masculine energies. And as always, these concepts are fluid in my readings. I don't believe in stereotyping, this is male energy and this is female energy. I don't believe in that. I believe that we're all a mix of both. and it's just energy I'm talking about, so don't get too hung up on gender here or gender politics. There is going to be a little bit of stereotyping though because of the discussion. There's something quite feminist coming through. I feel like we're talking divine feminine, divine masculine here, if you're into those concepts. And yin and yang, yin and yang, the light side and the dark side, balancing out both sides of yourself. But I do feel like I've got a feminine energy over here and a masculine energy over here, and we'll kind of talk it through as we go. I feel like we have air and fire energy here. So I'll start with this moon card, darkness, moon. The first thing I'm kind of noticing that is that in the darkness there is light. So again, you've got this balance of light and dark, and in the underlying, sat with this, you have the sun. So the sun and the moon, right? Light and dark, yin and yang, opposites, polarity, opposite forces. But you can see, I guess it's the moon, but maybe the light of the sun is shining off the moon. That's why we can see the moon, right? It's because the light from the sun shines on it. So darkness, moon, light in the darkness, fire energy. So just to kind of point them all out, you have a sun here, a moon here, a moon here. There's a few more. I keep spotting them, and I'll kind of show you as I keep going, because some of these cards are kind of doubled. But yeah, let's keep going. So up here we've got bushfire, fury. Now what I'm getting from this, I mean, somebody may be feeling very, very fiery, very, very passionate, but I feel like it's almost like passionate about a cause, like there's something wrong with the world. Maybe it's the world is burning, the world's on fire, we're wasting natural resources, we're not looking after the planet like we should be. The reason why I'm saying that, not only because it's talking about bushfires and this person's holding up an image of, kangaroos fleeing a fire, but also you've got this card here which talks about the inner core. So you can see you've got like the Earth's crust up here breaking apart, sort of flying off into space. But in the center, you've got these faces cracking as well, which I feel like is like facades cracking, our public personas, the kind of what we want people to think we are, the masks that we wear in society, rather than being our true authentic selves. So inner core is your true authentic spirit, the fire, the soul. And you can see also there's this dove which symbolizes peace. So I don't know, world peace, conflict, the world at conflict, wanting world peace. And I thought these were cogs, but when I look more closely, they're actually hands, almost making a heart shape. So it's like people from around the world, opposite sides of the world, coming together in peace and harmony, to unite for a greater cause. I don't know. Again, I'm just reading what I'm picking up on the cards. So I was kind of getting this Judgment Day thing, and again, I don't want to talk too much about religion, but it's like, well, what happens, like, what would happen if the world ended? What would happen? So there's this thing about death and rebirth coming through. This is literally the Judgment card, death and rebirth. So again, booby warning, but you've got... the Judgment card literally means death and rebirth. You can see they've got coffins in the background. This person's holding a skull. This lady's holding an egg, symbolizing death and birth. They've got a child between them. They've got the sun on there. And on the other side of this card, you can see it's literally like Judgment Day, or the sun is shining on this kind of like heavenly being. So I don't know if it's kind of something about an awareness of things that are up in the sky, or, what happens when we die. Dove symbolizing peace. Again, on this card as well, this card talks to me about the Nine of Cups can mean, it means to me normally making yourself happy, emotionally finding fulfillment within. But you can see on this card, another meaning of the Nine of Cups can mean wishes fulfilled and abundance. So you can see that this person's in a gold house. He's surrounded by wealth, right? Wealth, power, things. But he's looking out of the window at this woman, because this is like... it's like two views. You can see both sides, right? So he's looking out of his window at this woman, and she looks a little bit smug there, and she's kind of flying up there with that empty cornucopia. It's like, well, you can acquire all the wealth in the world, but you can't take it. Ooh, you can't take it with you, right? You have to be light in order to ascend. Something like that is what I'm getting with that. I know it's crazy. I know I sound crazy, but I'm just reading the cards, okay? It all ends with this leap of faith into something new. The Fool card, dropping everything, dropping all your burdens, taking a leap of faith into something new. Here's that person with all the burdens here. All right, so one theme I'm picking up from these cards is death and rebirth, renewal. Here, the three of emotions. This particular one means maiden, mother, crone connections. Literally, soul tribe, soul family, death and rebirth. Along with this judgment card, which again is death and rebirth. Oh, there's moons on this card as well. So yeah, a lot of death and rebirth business going on here. Soul tribe, soul family, uniting for a common good, spiritual awareness, recognizing that something to do with like the consumption of material things. The consumption of material things is bad for the planet, you know, being selfish, being greedy, accumulating material things, what is it, a capitalist societies. It's not good for the world. So I'm not promoting communism here or anything, you know, all hands together, but I think there is something about not being selfish, not being greedy, and connecting with others in order to save the planet, basically, I think is the message that's coming through. Again, I'm not trying to push an agenda. I'm just reading the cards. If you want to accumulate things and live in a big cold gold room, then that's your business, but don't be surprised when you see everybody else flying off and looking a little bit happier and lighter. But I don't know, anyway. Yeah, not trying to push an agenda. What you do is up to you. I'm just reading the cards. So as I was tuning into the energy here, my heart was racing, absolutely pounding as I tuned in. So I'm going to start going through each row and kind of going in depth with these. But first I want to say that the song that came through is kind of like, let me just make sure I'm getting the right ones. Hold on a second, just while I organise myself. All right, I'm organised. I've remembered what I'm talking about. So the song that randomised at the start of the reading, as I was tuning in, as I was setting up, as I was getting an overview, was Independent Love Song by Scarlett. Now, on the album cover or the song cover that showed on Spotify for me, there was 8 stars. So I don't know if 8 stars is relevant at all to anyone. But she says, I'm doing it a different way. I'm doing it a different way. So I think this is something to do with like, not focusing on the wealth and material possessions and the faces that we put on, the masks we wear, and status. Somebody's doing something because they have almost like a higher view of what the planet needs. So they're doing something that's more spiritual and more meaningful, and rejecting consumerist society, possibly. And this is where this fury is. I'm doing it a different way. But I'm going to read you the lyrics, or at least some of them. So an overview, you could say this was an independent love song. It's nothing like to us what love meant to them. But that's not to say the love we have isn't big or that strong. I'm doing it a different way. I'm loving a different way, right? You might say this is another boring love song. To be together and forever be true. And so today it's much the same as it was then. I'm doing it a different way. I'll show you how to take me. I'll show you how to turn me, and I'll show you how to touch me. Go down, go down. So yeah, now it's fine that many men will look my way. So again, I'm getting almost like female empowerment, female emperor energy here on this side of the reading. So it's fine that many men will look my way, and I'll let them take me home and show me the way. And sure, I'll like a few, but I'll leave the rest to play. I'm doing it a different way. So yeah, I don't know. Female empowerment there, doing it a different way. It's almost like, it's funny, I was talking about a Greek comedy, the Lysistrata. Lysistrata, I hope I'm pronouncing it properly, by, I think it was Aristophanes. But it's about Lysistrata, who is a woman in ancient Greece. Greece is at war. Athens is at war. She's in Athens, and Athens is at war with like Sparta and a few other of the surrounding islands. And you know, the men are making a big mess of things. Politics isn't getting anywhere. It's just no end to this fighting and conflict, and everybody's sick of it. So the women are like, do you know what? We're going on a sex strike. We're not going to have sex with our husbands until we get peace. And I'm not telling everybody to go on a sex strike, but it is a comedy, you know, it was meant to be poking fun, but there is this theme in that play where it's like, well, you know, when the women taking matters into their own hands, you know, women are just as capable of men as making decisions and taking action. And when the men fail, the women step up and do things a different way. They do it their own way. But she actually, Lysistrata at the start of the play, she's talking to the women from the different tribes. I remember she's talking to this woman from Sparta, and they're all sick of it. All the women are sick of this war, and they're all going, yeah, do you know what? Yeah, we're all going to do the sex strike. We're not, you know, if like they're making a mess of it, we're going to solve this issue. So again, that's you know, ancient Greeks Spice Girls, if you like. They're this female empowerment. But right, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent. Let's get back in business. It's funny that came through. Somebody had that song in one of the readings. Back boogieing, back in business. So yeah, it's like men have been running the show. We're sick of it. Women are now going to take the wheel and sort things out. It's like we've let them think they're in control for long enough now. It's time to. And again, I'm not particularly feminist. I think men and women are equals, and you know, there's a lot of flow in between the genders. But I guess I'm talking about like old-fashioned patriarchy. And old-fashioned gender roles here. But again, take it as it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. So the moon, darkness. There are cycles to everything and a season for everything. Do not push yourself when the tides are against you. Do not be afraid of the darkness, as the darkness is as necessary as the light. Rest and repair. The divine feminine in all her forms is rising. The time for introversion, stability and planning is here. Word of power, Lysa, Lysa, ancient Norse. Illuminate in darkness. Element air. So again, lots of, I mean, the moon is a very watery body, but it's talking about air today. So I guess you've got air, water and fire all over here on the female side. The moon has an unshakable pull on human imagination since we were able to stand up on our hind legs and look at it. Some of the earliest cave artworks feature it, and it has been particularly linked with feminine energies and the feminine divine. The typical human menstrual cycle length is the same as the lunar cycle. We know that luteinizing hormone, lut means light, the luteinizing hormone that triggers ovulation is highly triggered by all light, but especially by moonlight. Goddesses of the moon are featured in almost all polytheistic religions, and many such as Diana, Artemis, Selena, Changxi, Ariana Hod, and Rati are still worshipped today. I'm sorry about not being able to pronounce the ones I'm unfamiliar with. Moon energy is flowful and changeable, just as the moon's gravitational pull influences the great ocean tides. It's also stabilizing. After the Big Bang and the formation of planets such as the Earth, our planet had no moon. It spun wildly, which meant very short days and nights, and it was quite unstable, resulting in extremes of temperature. It is believed that a Mars-sized planet collided with Earth, the impact of which sent chunks of the planet off into orbit and gradually formed our moon. The moon began to have an effect on Earth, with its gravitational pull slowing down the rapid rotation of the Earth, young Earth, and giving it greater stability. Interesting, because this is talking about stability. Okay. There were less speed wobbles. Among the many consequences of this, days and nights became longer and more consistent, and distinct seasons were born. These seasons tempered the extremes of the planet, and it became one that eventually harboured life. These facts illustrate how we can be personally affected by the moon and seasons. By following the moon's cycles and working with them, we can discover a new layer of stability within mind, body and spirit. So I've been getting this message a couple of times. I think Pisces and Cancer seem to get this because they're associated with this moon energy. You've got the moon twice here, by the way. And you can see on this card here, this is also talking about moon cycles. So you've got the waning moon. I'm going to get it the wrong way around. Waning moon, full moon, waxing moon. So again, this talks about moon cycles, feminine energy, maiden mother crone connections, soul tribe, soul family, and working. So there's something to do with working with moon energy, working with the feminine body, understanding the phases of the feminine body, the menstrual cycle, and and working with it. The emotions will change at different stages. It's normal. It happens to everybody. Some people only get a minor effect, and some women have quite strong mood fluctuations along with the cycle. So it all depends on the individual, but there's something here to do with recognizing the cycle, the menstrual cycle, the moon cycle. Even men who or women who are no longer menstruating, people who don't menstruate. I don't want to get into that discussion. J.K. Rowling can carry on getting the flack for those kind of comments, but whoever you are, we are all possibly affected by this moon energy. The whole world is affected by the moon energy. The ebb and flow of tides, it has an effect on all of us. The gravitational pull of the moon can affect us all. There's long-standing things about people howling at the moon, people, werewolves, people going crazy on full moons. You can talk to police officers and things, or I've watched a show about ambulance workers once where they were saying, oh, it's a full moon, it's going to be a crazy night, and there is a little bit of lore attached to that, but I do think there's something to it. You can see the effect that the moon has on our gravitational pull, and why wouldn't that have an effect on our bodies as well? So recognizing that this small chunk of rock in the sky keeps everything in balance. The sun and the moon working together to keep the earth in balance. So if you're talking about masculine and feminine energy, the yin and the yang, these two astral bodies are working in union with the gravitational pull to keep the earth in some kind of perfect balance. And we don't want to mess with that ecosystem of the galaxy, right? We want that inner core to stay stable. So again, lots of different messages coming through here, so do take what resonates and leave anything that doesn't. There is something to do with like a soul family here. You can see there's 3 people here, 3 people here. This card, the Judgment card, talks about death and rebirth, life cycles, and so does the 3 of Emotions, particularly in this deck. So I'm going to read that card to you. Just to kind of say, I did have a reading a while back. It's got a trigger warning on it. It's one of my Tell Me Anything readings, and I call it the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. So I do feel like this is a continuation of the same theme, the same story that was coming through. So if you enjoyed this reading and you haven't watched that one, maybe that's another one to look at. Again, talks about sexuality and things like this. So again, I'm just reading the cards. Don't attack me for anything that I say. It's not my personal views here. I'm just reading the cards. My own personal views is that everything's one big thing. We all work in harmony with each other. We all have a balance of light and dark, masculine and feminine energies. Basically, we're all just one big system, right? All elements of one big system, and that's my personal view. But you take it or leave it. 3 of Emotions: friendship and joy, celebrations, collaboration, looking to your soul family for support, spirit siblings, connected hearts, deep friendships, maiden mother crone connections, sometimes a love triangle. Prompt: soul collection. Soul collection with the Judgment card. The 3 of Emotions is a living, breathing entanglement of deep friendships and love connections. They began as 3 beautiful muses, one a maiden, one a mother, and one a crone, and they had the most delightful of kinships. Unusual as it was, they had the most delightful of kinships, as unusual as it was divine. They spent their days sharing from the deepest parts of their spirit, truth, honesty, and vulnerability. Their ties ran so deep, in fact, that they knew they were part of the same soul family, and over time they began to look and feel more like each other. They had similar mannerisms and laughter, and shared ways of seeing the universe. Eventually their souls began to link and entwine, and they forever changed one another's essence, as all deep friendships do. They invite you to fill your cup from their outpouring of love, and to connect with your circle and those you choose to welcome into your heart as family. I love our 3 hearts of essence and bubbly things, like strings of past, present, and future, tied to this soul family because I know you. So you could be, on a personal level, you could be meeting somebody that you recognize instantly, even though you've never met them before. It's like, some of those connections where, you can just meet somebody in the supermarket or in a shop, and you just instantly chat like you're old friends, and the conversation flows easily, and everything's just, it's like I've known you forever, but I've only just met you. That kind of ease of being in each other's presence. So there could be something going on like this for you, where you feel like instant connection, instantly just getting along with somebody. It's like I always say it's like those kind of friendships where you could be in a party, you could be in a room, a meeting, a room full of other people, and somebody could be talking, and it's like you don't even have to look at this person. You just know that they're thinking the same thing as you about whatever's going on in that room, and you can look across and have that shared look and just be like, yeah, I know, I know, I'm thinking the same thing. It's those kind of connections. So I do feel like perhaps there's some kind of gravitational pull here where people are being pulled to connections that feel like family, connections that feel like old friends, home. Even if it's new relationships, it feels like some kind of like gravity pulling soul tribe together, is how it feels to me in this reading. Now, the song that came through for this chunk of cards is, if I just look, Mad World by Tears for Fears. So all around me are familiar faces, and it may be quite sudden. It may be like, oh my goodness, I just suddenly feel like I found my soul family, possibly. Um, the sad line that comes through for that song, though, is the dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had, which is very dark. But my heart just leapt. We do have this darkness with the moon here. Now, there is something going on with the energy that I'm picking up on, where I've had it a few times where in the darkness, or in that in between state of dream and being awake, I've connected with an energy that feels like hugely comforting and like unconditional love. So it's some kind of universal, heavenly, if you want to put it that way, energy that I'm connecting to in the darkness, that I'm becoming aware of. And when I have those dreams, it's really hard to leave that. When I pick up on that energy, it's really hard to disengage from it. I kind of want to be in it all the time because it just feels like peace, love. I'm protected, I'm safe, I'm loved. It feels like heavenly energy, and it's always in the darkness. So take that as it resonates. I'm just explaining my experience. I don't know what it is. It feels gorgeous. I suppose you could talk about addictions and substance abuse, and I don't abuse any substances. I like my alcohol, but I drink once a week. A very strict rule there. But that feeling of like wanting that to get into that darkness, wanting to get into that other space, that often comes along with addiction. So I do feel like there's a veil between the 3D world and something that's bigger that we can connect to, but we have to kind of almost go into our subconscious to connect to it. Obviously, if you do have substance abuse issues, if you do feel very dark and depressed, your mood is low, you're having thoughts about dying, all these things, I would very strongly recommend that you either speak to friends, family, anyone who you feel like is a supportive person. Reach out for charities, helplines, and obviously speak to your doctor if you're able to, because I think that is not something that you need to deal with alone. I think that's something that you need to make those earthly connections, right? You need to. This is the opposite of that. These earthly connections, the support networks that are around us, that help us with that. But I would say that the energy does not feel bad at all. The energy feels heavenly. It feels like this angel's there in the darkness, like ready to wrap its wings around me. So take that as it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. It's crazy talk, I know, but I'm just telling you what's coming through. Okay, I don't know why this is going on, but it's a thing. So here we've got this fury, bushfires, anger at things that are wrong with the world. Let me just find that bushfire thing. Okay, it almost feels like observer energy of like, I'm doing it a different way. So this person's observing something, and there is a fire inside, there is a fury, but I feel like it's almost being channeled into something that is productive. Because you can be wildly angry, right? You can be the person starting the fires and just lashing out, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like observer, wanting, channeling the rage into change is how it feels. It feels strong, But I'll read what it says. Extreme emotions, once engaged, are hard to put back in the container. Anger is a healthy emotion, yet fury is less necessary. Warlike emotions should be tempered unless survival requires it. Emotional intelligence is required at this time. Now, I do feel like this is connecting with Capricorn's reading. Almost like the more to this side of the reading I get, the more I feel like Capricorn energy. So again, whether you're female, male, doesn't matter too much. Kind of both sides I could see as Capricorn, but this is earth energy, and there's some Capricorn hints here that are tying in with that reading that I did this morning. So doesn't have to be, but I'm saying it because I'm picking up on it. So the word mania, ancient Greek, fury and rage, fire. That's not to say all Capricorns are angry and warlike, but they could be feeling very passionate about something and wanting to make some sort of change for the greater good, I feel. So it talks quite a lot about bushfires in general, but it says fury is a difficult emotion to both feel and have directed at you. So it could be somebody who is facing people who are angry with them. Fury feels extreme and uncontrollable. It is important to explore and work through such emotions and be able to understand what they are and what they mean. Unpicking why we feel such intensity helps us balance the fury. Now, I wasn't particularly picking up on fury in Capricorn's reading, but they were doing something where they were using their mind and thoughts and words to explore their emotions and figure out, and it was like processing their emotions and working out what was at the core of them and what was at the bottom of them. So it was very mature. It was very much like when you do go to a psychologist or somebody who's an advisor, a counselor, they get you to talk because the act of talking helps you to work through what's going on internally for you and make sense of it, which then allows you to deal with it in an intelligent, mature way rather than just feeling things and acting, which is very immature. It's almost like what a toddler would do, right? I'm upset, so I'm angry and I'm going to smash something. It's very basic emotions. It's very caveman like, where the act of being able to have that cognitive awareness and process feelings and emotions, it's a higher level. It's much more mature, it's much more advanced. So that's there for somebody. I feel then you have this Nine of Cups, which should talk about finding happiness from within. But I feel like there's a masculine energy here who's been trying to find happiness by accumulating wealth and status. Somebody who's accumulating things. Somebody who wants the admiration of others, right? Sat there in the gold castle like King Midas. But you can't take that with you. It doesn't actually fulfill the inside of your container. You're only like putting glitter on the surface, right? The inside, the core, is where that Nine of Cups really is, where that true happiness lies. Connecting with your inner emotions, connecting with your inner purpose, your soul, what makes you authentically you, what is important to your soul. And I feel like that's what this feminine energy is doing. Because her cornucopia is empty. There's nothing in there. She doesn't need anything in there. She's flying among the stars, right? She's got that inner happiness that makes her light. What is it that a wealthy man, a camel can't get through the eye of a needle or something like that? Is there some kind of biblical thing that says, you can't go into the kingdom of God with all your gold? You've got to be light in order to ascend. So for those of you who are very biblical, there you go, that's your quote in this reading. Mangled because I don't know it that well. I don't remember it. I think we did discuss Bible stories in junior school and high school, but it's tendrils of memories of stories, which is intermingled and woven with my own soul tapestry, along with stories from loads of different cultures. So my tapestry is very rich, just saying, because I've got a lot of influences in there. Okay, sorry, just annoying everybody there again. So the Six of Voices, this talks about divine help to overcome obstacles. It's a really, really nice card. I'm going to read this for you, if I can find it. So here you go, and here's that moon on the head again. Just to kind of say, this is more or less the position that my skull opens up when I'm about to receive messages. I can feel this kind of like tingling sensation, which leads to this feeling of like almost like a portal opening up in my skull, and then I start to get the visions and things like that. So interesting that the moon's there, and the moon talks about intuition. I'm just going to actually pause for a second. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that little interruption. So there was a hair on the book. Transitions, help coming from unexpected places, quiet movement, successful expansion after a period of difficulty. It's funny because expansion, again, was like the key card that came out, the first card that came out for Capricorn. Again, expansion after a period of difficulty. Crossing thresholds, changes, realignment. Distance covered in the hands of the muse. Out of breath now from running up and down the stairs. Okay. She stands at the edge of her sanity. Hi, it's me. She stands at the edge of her sanity, not knowing how to go any further, but knowing she needs to cross to the other side. Just to say, it says she. All the cards say she in this deck. So she, he, they. Take it as it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. Looking up at the heavens, she sends a silent prayer for help and is answered by a lightness that she hasn't felt for so long. The muse of difficult transitions lends a helping hand to those who seek solace and passage to new states of being, living and loving. Sometimes the way across the river is unclear and muddy. And it's so funny because I kept on talking about the muddy waters in Capricorn's reading. In these times, the muse asks us to be open to receiving help from wonderfully unexpected places. Trust that serendipity will find you. Look for kind gestures of beauty and keep seeking the bright waters over tomorrow's horizon. As these root and stir inside your soul, you will be moved into the direction of small miracles. Yet forward she crosses, her passage of silence, lack laughter without mentions. Pervasive steeping, inner quiet, helped by kind intentions. So, looking up at the heavens, she sends a silent prayer for help and is answered by a lightness that she hasn't felt for so long. I feel like that's literally what happened to me. A good year or so ago now, I was not in a great place. Honestly, I was quite depressed. I did go and speak to the doctor. And there wasn't much that the doctor could do. And I do process my emotions in a very logical way. I am a Libra, so I'm very analytical when it comes to the way that I'm feeling and the way that I'm thinking. And I was kind of fine. I wasn't happy, but I didn't feel like the doctor could offer me much that I really needed. It was like I know I'm very strong. I'm very strong when it comes to those times when I feel quite down, and I'm very good at picking myself back up again, which I'll come to over here as well, actually. But I did ask, I kind of like, there were a lot of memes around at the time that were like, Jesus, take the wheel, and that scene from Fleabag where she's in the little priest's confessional and she's going, I just need someone to tell me what to do. And I was very much in that mood, and I very much was parodying this, but also genuinely like almost sending up pleas to the universe for help, because I wasn't happy. And I went with the flow. I released, which people say is what you should do. Release, follow the signs, do as the universe tells me to do, and my life has got a lot better and I'm a lot happier. So I feel like I feel like my prayers were answered in a way, and I am moving to calmer waters. I am moving to a better place, at least emotionally. So there you go, that's the advice for somebody. If you've got obstacles in your path, if you don't know what to do, maybe do try asking whatever deity you want to ask for help, ask them for help. Whatever's up there in the sky is basically what I did. And yeah, I feel the universe around me all the time. Signs and synchronicities like crazy, literally feeling in the darkness, you know. There's things that are unexplainable. There's things that go beyond coincidence, that have proved to me that there is a higher power out there. And I'm not here to convince everybody else. It's my own personal journey, and people can think I'm crazy. It's me standing on the edge of my own sanity there, but I don't know, just try it. Law of attraction, power of positive thinking, manifestation, whatever you want to call it. Praying. Uh, yeah, it's funny how the universe answers. Okay, so the song for that section of the reading was Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa. I want to change the game. So we've got it again. I'm doing it a different way. I'm going to change the game. No matter what you do, I'm going to get it without you. So I know you're not used to a female alpha here with this Emperor card, right? And I do keep showing as the Emperor in my own readings, and I do identify as feminine. I'm very girly in real life, very girly and giggly and like dressing up, like grown up Barbie. But I am a Libra, I am a cardinal sign, and Libra is a masculine sign. So yeah, I'm showing up as the Emperor, which is pretty strange but pretty cool. So I know you're not used to a female alpha. I know you're not used to a woman who knows what she wants, a woman who takes the lead, a woman who isn't codependent. I feel like it is what's coming through in this reading. I'm not talking specifically about me, by the way. I'm just you know, whatever's going on here, whatever somebody's dealing with, I feel like on the feminine side, it's the women, it could be global feminine energy stepping up, taking the lead, saying we're not putting up with this anymore, we're going to do things differently, we're going to change the game, and we're going to do it in a very supportive way. Again, doesn't necessarily talk about women against men. It's feminine energy, divine feminine energy, okay, moon energy. But yeah, maybe on a 3D plane, maybe there is somebody who's like, I know you're not used to a female alpha. You know, maybe you're used to, I'm talking now to the masculine energy. Maybe you're used to people who are codependent, who are reliant upon you, who let you take the lead, who sit around crying in the little castle waiting for you to come and save them. And it's like, do you know what? It's almost like, do you know what? I'm tired of waiting for you. You don't know what you want. I'm off here making myself happy, and I'm going to get it without you. Is the way it's coming through. So yeah, female energy stepping up, taking the lead, not being codependent, doing things because they know it needs to be done, because they're passionate about it, and not waiting for the men to keep up. Possibly is one reading. And again, I'm saying a lot of stuff here. It's not necessarily my own thoughts and feelings. I'm just reading the cards. I can't reiterate that enough. But yeah, I don't know. So yes, feminine energy. You're like, okay, I'm going to find this lightness of soul. I'm going to find this inner happiness, which again talks to me about. You can see all these women dancing here on this card. So this is how this is one of my techniques when I, back when I was depressed, to be quite frank. And those days when I do feel very, very low, I find that not every time, but quite often music will help, and music can lift my mood. Certain songs I literally cannot help but dance to, no matter how low I am, no matter how sad I am. It's like I hear certain songs and I'm up on my feet dancing, and it's like that people say that exercise releases endorphins, you feel better for it, and it does. It keeps me moving, it keeps me going. It's like when the world was at war, we just kept dancing, right? That Lana Del Rey song. So interestingly enough, this Emperor card actually talks about creating music. I'm going to come to this in a second. So let's start up here with this, the third part of this reading, Solidity, the inner core. Now this is earth energy. It talks about balance, groundedness, gravity, being steadfast, being grounded, being this dependable energy that comes along with this earth sign energy. So let me just grab the book and we'll have a quick read of that. Is that 18? This is a really gorgeous book. Look at it. It's like actually got colour and illustrations, and it was such a cheap deck. I think it was only about between £10 and £12 on Amazon. It's the Elemental Oracle by Stacy Demarco. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's one of my favourite oracle decks at the moment. If anyone was interested in it. So inner core, solidity. Stay constant in your endeavours. Do not stop your progress. Seek those who are reliable and solid. Keep your promises. The greatest power is from the inside out. Word of power, constantium, Latin constant. Element earth. So it talks about the earth, right? The core is superheated and it's about the same temperature as the surface of the sun. That's interesting. The core of the earth is the same temperature as the surface of the sun. I didn't know that. Unlike the outer core, the center of the earth is solid. Unlike the outer core, the center of the earth is solid rather than fluid. What? Is that the wrong way around? I thought the core was fluid. I thought it was like lava. I need to do my physics. I need to go and do like physics 101 or something. There is still scientific debate about how the core was formed, but it is believed to have originally been liquid that cooled to form the solid mass. The solidity gives stability to the Earth, and while not magnetic itself, because of the heat it throws out, it does affect the magnetism of the outer core. So again, this magnetism, gravity, forces pulling on one another. We live in a fast-paced world with many distractions. Developing a sense of solidness and reliability is important. We often do not honour the promises we make to ourselves, and yet we honour our promises and commitments to others. We need to be able to rely on our own word to ourselves. Again, that feels like Capricorn at the moment for me, Capricorn energy. We often do not honour the promises that we made to ourselves, and yet we honour our promises and commitments to others. We need to be able to rely on our own word to ourselves. And I feel like that was what Cappy was doing in their reading. So it does feel like an extension of Cappy's reading in quite a lot of ways, or at least this part of the reading over here does. So we have this moon card. Now again, booby warning. There's two sides to these cards. So here we've got this feminine energy. She's almost a siren, right? Quite seductive. She doesn't look very trustworthy. She's got a bit of a mean expression. So the moon card talks about secrets, unknown, fears, intuition. It's like she's offering something of value there, or she's offering a cup. The cup symbolizes love, but it's almost like it's a poisoned cup to me. And what's in her hands to me is symbolizing, it's linking to this wealth, right, on this card here. So there's almost some kind of lure, like a lure to the masculine energy. A cup that should be pure and loving, but it's a poisoned cup. And then this wealth, it's like temptation. It's coming through as almost like devil energy for me today, which again is the Capricorn card. This is Pisces Cancer though for me, this card. So here you've got these people who they're turning the backs. Sorry, the siren's coming through as Cancerian energy for me quite a lot at the moment, so it doesn't have to be. I'm not trying to badmouth all the Cancerians, but there's something going on with that where you can see this crab is kind of like it's given up. It's almost like it's a siren. She's got a crab form and a human form, but these energies turn the back on it, and then the crab kind of goes away, because these two are looking at this man on the moon, this face in the moon. It's like turning you back on temptation and following intuition, something like that. Let me read what it says in this book. Okay, it's very brief. It's just a little leaflet with this deck, but so it says so this side, I believe, is profound and hypersensitive intuition, the aspirations of the ego in direct contact with profundity and no intercessions, opening up completely to the revelations of the soul. I think this is what we're being encouraged to do, open up completely to the revelations of the soul. The back is uncertainty between the fear of oblivion and the yearning for transformation, resistance to inner change that may become mental confusion and lack points of reference, the inner world's dominated by mothers. So there may be some kind of dominating mother for somebody, controlling mother energy. But then it's almost like, well, you're not used to a female alpha. I don't know. I don't know how it's coming through. I guess people who, it's their situation will understand what this is. But let's read about this female alpha, right? Again, this could be Capricorn. It could be somebody around Capricorn. This doesn't feel, there's something about this that feels negative, but there's something about this that feels positive. I think it's almost like a distrust. It's like you're not used to a female alpha, so you're distrusting it, maybe. Success and structure, leadership, the divine masculine. There you go, divine masculine. So we've got divine feminine up there with the moon, divine feminine here with the moon, divine masculine here with the emperor. Planning and delivering, building and expanding. Again, it could be two sides of one coin. It could be yin yang, the two sides of ourselves. Stepping into the masculine energy because we're taking the lead and we're taking control of our lives. If you whatever. Planning and delivering, building and expanding an empire, a legacy, a business person, a visionary, a provider, the time for strategic thinking. Prompt, bedrock of strategy. She strums her fingers and sends a quartet of Borealis strings out into the sky, a simple joy, but one that she happily gifts the people below. The lights serve as a reminder that there is a symphony of life around them, a bigger plan that's not always evident from every vantage point. She steps onto the solid landscape, right? Because we've got the inner core, that solidity there. With all the strength and harmonic leadership that a powerful emperor muse can bestow, sharing her secrets of success with you. Lead confidently, graciously, and empower those around you to do their very best work. Be a guardian, a provider, a steward. Revisit how you care and provide for yourself and for others. And then her heart lights up when she sees the happy earthly hums from the people below. The glow of contented dreams warms the top of the mountains, and peace fills the valley below as they realize they are protected, fostered, and safe. Authority, stability, these things provide control. Vision now and claim your lead. Protect and feed your goal. Is it like distrust of empowered feminine energy, or is this two different feminine energies that are polar opposites? Again, like every single sign has a light side and a dark side. So it could be, again, like two sides of the same coin. A lot of the time when women stand up and step into power and embrace their femininity, right, reclaim their sexual identity, a lot of the kind of patriarchal forces, women and men who are part of that patriarchal system will try to shame women. They'll try to say that they're Jezebels. They'll try to say that they're bad people. I'm just sort of seeing how this light actually does shine and continue down here into the Borealis strings. So there could be a distrust of empowered feminine energy, and almost as a way of silencing or de-empowering that feminine energy. It's almost like a slander, a smear campaign against saying they're a siren, they're a seductress, when actually it's just someone who's empowered. If you think of people like Lady Gaga, Madonna, Marilyn Monroe, it's almost like using that sexuality as a tool. And why not? Because men do it, I don't know. You've got Riptide by Vance Joy, which is a gorgeous song, and I'm going to read it. And again, you've got a little bit of Cappy coming through. Left-hand man, that talks about, the devil's said to be left-handed, right? The left hand of God is meant to be the devil, something like that. The devil card is the Capricorn card, and then lump in my throat. I was literally getting a lump in my throat during their reading. So something going on with that energy. It could be something to do with the transition of Saturn and Jupiter from Capricorn into Aquarius, because Capricorn's a very patriarchal, controlling sign. Not necessarily the people who have that sign in the chart, but the energy of that planet, that Saturn energy, is very patriarchal and controlling, where Aquarius is much more about that hands around the earth feeling. So it could just be something going on globally with those two energies rather than specific signs. And just to say that I keep getting New York through for somebody, and New York's mentioned in two of these songs. I was scared of dentists and the dark, right? You've got darkness. The reading leads with darkness. I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. Oh, all my friends are turning green. This is like jealousy, green-eyed monster. You're the magician's assistant in their dream. Ah, ooh, ah. And they come unstuck. Lady running down to the Riptide, taken away to the dark side. I want to be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat because you're going to sing the words wrong. There's this movie that I think you'd like. This guy decides to quit his job and heads to New York City. This cowboy's running from himself, and she's been living on the highest shelf. I just wanna know if you're gonna stay. I just gotta know. I can't have it any other way. I swear she's destined for the screen. Closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer that you've ever seen. Oh, lady, running down to the Riptide. I love that song. So a cool song. Here we go with like getting a bit more 3D and grounded. I feel like there could be a connection. where you've got this female alpha character. Feels a bit like wishes coming true, perhaps, for the masculine energy, or like the friends are jealous, something like this, and they're almost saying, "Are you going to come with me?" And I think the answer is yes as we move through the reading. You also got, because I didn't turn the song off in time because I was enjoying that song too much because I really like it, you got Man's Needs by the Cribs. A man's needs. I can't remember the lyrics, but New York's mentioned in that song as well, so double New York. For somebody, it could just be for one specific person. It might not be for everybody. Now, when we move here, so you've got these burdens, right? This talks about, again, that kind of almost patriarchal figure. It kind of has a bit of an Augustus-like quality to it there. Burdened by a patriarchal society, burdened by the expectations of others, authority figures. And I'll flip this card in a minute and you'll see why I'm going to do it this way around. But here, this is about collecting information, gathering information, the page of voices. So I'm going to read from the book. Okie dokie. So, curious and intelligent things, restless energy, a thirst for knowledge, learning, thinking, a student, needing to align your actions with your words, frenetic understanding of stillness. How does it all work? Where are we headed? What is the nature of nature? With a million questions and answers, she gobbles up all the things, the light and the bits and the bobs and the data. This page is a sponge of the world, taking it all in. She intuits and intellects. She thinks her way into existence, and sometimes she has so much on her mind that there's a frenetic energy around her. The learning storm comes. The wind whips in restless communication. She doesn't mean to create this uncomfortable buzzing state. She's just so absorbed in her busy thoughts that she misses the fact that there is another mountain beside her that needs to sleep. She reminds you to think before you speak and to use your mind as a tool and to see the facts as they are, and she reminds you to grow. I collect my mixture of spinning thoughts and I begin to pull them down to earth. I think, I am, I know. So I speak. Oh, how I speak myself into existence. I feel like this is this energy, right? This Emperor Muse. Speaking herself into existence, creating her own reality. So what are these burdens? Well, the song that came through for this is Pure Shores by All Saints. So let me just pull up the lyrics. It's funny, like Pure Shores, the beach. I don't know if it's from the movie The Beach, but I was almost watched that last night and then I just didn't have the patience for it. So maybe I need to go and watch it. But All Saints, Pure Shores. I've crossed the deserts for miles, right? Crossed the deserts for miles. Look, it ties in so well. Swam water for time. Swam water for time. Searching for places to find a piece of something to call mine. I'm coming. A piece of something to call mine. I'm coming. Coming closer to you. Ran along many moors, walked through many doors, the place where I want to be, the place that I can call mine. I'm moving, I'm coming. Can you hear what I hear? It's calling you, my dear. The Judgment card, it talks about calling to your soul. Out of reach, take me to my beach. I can hear it calling you. I'm coming, not drowning, swimming closer to you. Never been here before. I'm intrigued. I'm unsure. I'm searching for more. I've got something that's all mine. Take me somewhere I can breathe. I've got so much to see. This is where I want to be, a place I can call mine. Many faces I have seen, many places I have been, walked the desert, swam the shores. Many faces I have known, many ways in which I've grown, moving closer on my own, coming closer to you. It feels like it could be a soulmate connection, past life connection. Yeah, a place that I can call my own. It's like coming home, right? So look at this person with his burdens, 10 of Wands, ready to put down those burdens. Heading home. He's only a few steps away. He's coming. Or she's coming. Someone's coming. Maybe you're both coming. Maybe it's going to be a really nice time. Right, okay. So finally, just to kind of close out this reading, because I don't have very long left. I've got about 3 minutes. the underlying here with how it ends is a lot of hard work going into something, a lot of time and effort. You've got the 7 of materials and the 8 of materials. 7 of materials is planting seeds, watching them grow, knowing that good things take time to build. If you want those secure foundations, if you want that solid core, you've got to put in the work and the effort, you know, allow things to mature naturally in divine timing. And while you sat there waiting, kind of work on your skills, kind of become a master of your craft. Keep working on things, keep building that solid foundation. I feel like both energies, right? There's a female on this card, a male on this card, and there's a child between them. Look, these 3 energies, man, woman, and child. I don't know what that is, but it's there. Chariot, fast movement forward, taking action, coming into alignment, the light and the dark, right? Aligning so that you can move forward. I am sorry about all the boobies in this deck. So the Fool, taking that leap of faith into something new. I'm going to read the book if I have time. This is like a brand new start. This is like the rebirth. A new journey, beginnings, trusting the universe, a time for optimism, not knowing what's coming, naivety, needing to learn new skills. 8 of Pentacles. Analysis paralysis, a leap of faith. Prompt, uncertain beauty. She hums a tune she used to know, and with bated wishes, she leaps into the abyss of stars and possibility. Thoughts eager, heart racing, high hopes. A million bits of coloured stardust rise up to meet her, and she greets myth and opportunity as she tumbles forward. She sees her future here, with this beautiful swirl of light and potential. What are you searching for? Asks the muse. Something brave, she whispers, something new. For the briefest of moments she feels unprepared, naive, unsure, foolish. She asks herself, are you ready for this? Can you take this journey? And the muse wants her to remember that she is and she can. She wants her to believe in her magic. And as she leaps, she leans deeper into trust and begins to hum once more, a song that sounds different this time around, grander, epic even. The notes vibrate the space around her, and her new path begins to unfold, leaving nothing to do but begin. Fearlessly jump into the sea of the cosmos, the spinning potentials are calling. Maybe a little foolish today, yet better done fool-like than stalling. Amazing. And there she is, creating her own reality, manifesting with spirit, co-creating with spirit, using music and sound in order to get that high vibrational energy, creating her own song, her own story. Now, the song to close out the reading for this section was Female of the Species by Space. I love it. Love it. And again, Capricorn, their advice card actually had a spider on it. So it's funny that Space, female of the species, you know, it has a reference to spiders. If you look at the album cover, it's a bathtub full of spiders. I'm sorry to those of you that don't like them, but I've got to say what I get. 1,000 thundering thrills await me, facing insurmountable odds gratefully. So there you go, crossing the insurmountable odds. The female of the species is more deadly than the male. Shock, shock, horror, horror, shock, shock, horror. I'll shout myself hoarse for your supernatural force. The female of the species is more deadly than the male. Oh, she deals in witchcraft, and one kiss and I'm zapped. Oh, how can heaven hold a place for me when a girl like you has cast a spell on me? Frankenstein and Dracula have nothing on you. Jekyll and Hyde are in the back of the queue. Oh, she wants to conquer the world completely, but first she'll conquer me discreetly. Yeah, it's a fun song. It's very tongue-in-cheek, but yeah, maybe somebody's learning to love that female alpha energy and learning to appreciate it and see all the value and sexiness in it, perhaps. I don't know. Right, I'm going to leave that there. It is what it is. Oh, just quickly, I asked for animals to come out of this deck. I shuffled. I thought maybe you can watch for signs and synchronicities. Watch out for these animals as indicators that you're on the right path. We got the mouse, the black egg, and the unicorn. So watch out for mice, black eggs, and unicorns, I guess. All right, guys, take care. My son's knocking, so I'm going to go. Bye-bye.